what the big lake is experiencing. There's no accounting, for the true impacts that this industry has on our region. Economically speaking, if we go back to the dollars and cents of it, you got Bob Tammon from the Iron Range. We used to work in the mines and has studied the mines. He is the first one to say right now in real time, there is not a healthy main street on the Iron Range. And maybe there's a lot of factors to that. Maybe it's super center Walmarts and all of that stuff. But the fact that the extractive industry is present there is also part of it. If anyone went down to Minocqua, Science on Tap, where we heard Ann Coakley from the DNR answer the water volume question with quote unquote a real lot, as far as how much water would be needed to run a mine. The economist down there from UW-Madison put up that graphic, and what he illustrated was what Dr. Al Geddix from another friend of ours would describe as the resource curse. That economists showed that per capita income after an extractive industry is over or the bust is present is actually lower than what it was to begin with. So right now GTAC's rolling in saying you need this mine or you're not going to be able to survive. Even though we've all lived our lives here up to this point, we've survived just fine, right? So that mentality of scarcity is being promoted. You need this mine. You are poor, you're impoverished, you need this mine. If this is where we're at right now, needing the GTAC project, and we can say that we're impoverished and poor and all that other stuff, when GTAC leaves, the per capita income is actually going to be lower. And there's the curse that Al Geddix describes. So on the backside of the bust economy here that happens with mining and extractive industry, you're not only poor, but now you're left with the very thing that gave you a little bit of a high quality of life, in spite of the fact that you weren't rich monetarily, has been stripped away from you. In our case, and around here, Class A trout streams, pristine water areas, groundwater wells where you turn on your well at your home and drink cold, clean water. All of those types of things that maybe we even take for granted are now gone, right? So your quality of life has been impacted, and we're not even talking about reclamation or restoration yet, which has a cost that typically falls on taxpayers and typically is something that local communities have to endure. So that curse is essentially twofold. The very thing that made it a place worth living, the very thing that made it a place to call home, the wealth of the natural resource base, is gone, and you're actually poorer than you were before. And that is actual and documented. That economist had it captured that night in Minocqua, and maybe to a certain extent we see that play out right now in Hurley, and a local economy that arguably has had a very difficult time moving its main street away from alcohol and exploitation of women as a foundation piece, and until there's some proactive thought put into how they want to move into the future, mining's going to be seen as manna from heaven over there, and that's a whole other conversation. But at the same time, that resource curse is something that would be in play very much, and very, very, I guess you could say, visibly in this community. And I think it was mentioned by Copper Falls as an example. That is a gem that this community, is benefiting from. And I once said in a meeting with the Department of Tourism, Stephanie Collette, if you really think about it, the Department of Tourism, for all of the umpteen millions that they have at the state of Wisconsin, they could do a much better job selling the Copper Falls State Park, selling the hundreds of unnamed cascading waterfalls up in those hills up there. They could do a better job of promoting that. And I asked her, and I asked Walker and his staff, the simple question: Is it because everyone's coveting what's under the earth, and you have to explode the earth to get at it, that you don't promote it? I mean, I can understand that if people fall in love with the land and the water, and your ultimate goal is to explode the place to get at what's underneath the land, you wouldn't want to promote that. Maybe you don't want people to fall in love and truly understand what's here. But local residents do. And I think people that call this place home understand that the real riches of how we live our lives in this area isn't in money. I mean, I don't know any millionaires besides Pete. You didn't tell them about the secret trust fund? Trustafarian? I don't know millionaires. And I bet you for the most part, you guys don't. You guys don't know millionaires either. But you know, when I'm floating in a little bitty 14-foot boat on the lake, and there's a sunset, and I got fish set up to fry on the beach over by the mouth of the Bad River, I feel like a millionaire. You know, I might have $8-9 in my pocket, but I feel like a millionaire. And when you think about what all these rich people are striving for their 2-week vacation, a lot of us have access to that kind of stuff anytime we want by stepping out our front door and going for a walk. And that's that quality of life that is at stake right now in this whole debate. And it's part of that earth economics cost-benefit analysis that hasn't been done, that hasn't been really talked about, and this is, in my book, the stuff that really matters and we should be talking about.
And just to kind of just go one, and the next step of that is that the people I think who live up here aren't anti-jobs. I mean, it's not, I'm a carpenter and build stuff, and it's not like everybody. If you're against this mind, you think there should be no jobs available for everybody. We should do nothing, and we should stop everything, and there should be nothing. And when you were talking, Mike, it got me thinking about our friend Bob Kincaid down in West Virginia, and one of the things he talks about is the counties that he's seen the devastation from mountaintop removal there. You see a lot of poverty, and you see a lot of horrible health effects from it. And now you see it ending in some of these counties, and you have a devastated landscape. And he talks about who if there's technology companies or companies looking to set up, looking for an area, are they going to go to a place that's an industrial zone? The industrial zone will be the rocks coming out of it. The fantasy is that there'll be all of this other stuff that will come out of here. And so I think that, it's important to just think about the fact that we're not all, trying to stop all progress, and any new industry anywhere is going to get shut down because we're just rabid, crazies up here. That's not the case. But it's worth thinking about what happens if this goes through, and what are the alternatives. And the fact that Ashland County has been really thinking about that and actually has really good progress made in that should be. There's already things happening. It's like, why that's not being helped out, and we're helping out and bending over backwards. The state is seemingly, anyway, for a billionaire from Florida is crazy.
Yeah, like